after wearing the hat of Professor Flint and Mary Anning for an extended period of time, do you ever struggle to switch back to your normal selves as Michael and Gemma? Okay, so there have been times when I've been Professor Flint for several days in a row at somewhere like the South Australian Museum, and I'm doing shows, and then between the shows I'm roving around. So I am for 4 or 5 or 6 hours in a row. You're basically doing a 5-hour show because you're in character for that whole period of time. And yes, I have been known to go into a pub afterwards and say, "Hello, I'll have a schooner of beer, thanks." I've been known to be reading things afterwards to relax, and I'm reading with a Scottish accent. So what does so yes, I mean, what does help is that when you Flint up, you know, you got the hat, the glasses on the nose, the t-shirt, the lab coat, and Flint is often, he has a particular walk, and I often talk about this. He has a walk that I don't have, and so, and he has a, I don't think manic is quite, no, maybe it is. He has a manic way of thinking and responding and reacting because he's constantly in awe of the gloriousness of natural history and the world around us. So when I turn back into Michael, I tend to quite often be like, and veg a bit. But yeah, I have been known to read in a Scottish accent inside my, like, this is not reading out loud, like reading a book, and I'm reading it, my inner voice is Scottish. But yeah, going to pub and ordering.
Random. God. No, I can't say I've ever had the same problem.
Do you reckon it's the training?
Possibly.
Maybe not, or just the personality type that I'm just mental.
I don't know. I like the way that I always, my first approach when getting into character. For some characters, it doesn't work, and I need to think of a new way in. But generally speaking, and what I do for Mary is, like, I use a lot of imagery, and I kind of visualize a new surrounding, and that's my like quick way into a character. So when I get a new character, I will create like a picture in my head of just like, it's a trigger picture. It's kind of the best description that I have of it. Yeah, and so like for Mary, it's like my trigger picture is like, it was the first beach that we went to with all the cliffs. And it's like, I can picture like everything kind of goes into like a sepia tone in this trigger picture because that's how I relate to
the olden days.
Kind of a sepia tone, you know, and I'm in my dress and I can feel it all on me, like how it sits. And I just kind of take a second to be like, this is where I am. You know, I've traveled back in time in my head and I'm ready to go. And then the second that it's called cut or I walk off stage or whatever I'm doing, I'm instantly able to just let go of that and be like, yep, I'm off. Yeah. I'm good.
I mean, part of that's interesting too, because for me, when I Flint up, it's always the hat that goes on at the end. It's like, right, I'm him now. And I've had people talking to Flint or other characters, like I've been Father Christmas, and they're wanting to talk to Michael. It's like, Michael's gone.
Yeah, it's like once you've hit that point, it's like, no, like I'm ready now. I need to go, and you can deal with Michael or Gemma later.
Or like, I'll pass on a message to Michael if you like.
Yeah. Oh no, scaffy glasses. Yeah, I don't know. So I've never had. It's always some of the behind the scenes videos are quite funny because you'll see me like running and jumping and be like, "Woo, Mary!" and then Michael will be like, "Okay, great," and instantly I'm like, "Oh yeah." Like it's, I don't know. There's something so funny about watching someone like click out of character.
Yeah, because sometimes you suddenly just stop to get.
Just like mid jump, you're just like, oh.
Next question.
Okay, little top one. Maybe. Ooh. If not Mary, then who would be your next choice?
As a character to play or a historical character? Well, maybe you first because you're doing the whole musical theatre thing at Griffith. So is there a role for you that you would want to play?
Oh, I don't know. Like I
That
guess
comes to mind that
because like I'm also trying to relate it to like if I wasn't doing this project with you, what would be the next project that I would do within this heaps good realm? Like, because I could just list off a list of dream roles to play in random musicals, but that's not particularly relevant.
Yeah. So whether it's okay, so if the question to the both of us, if we weren't working on this Mary thing, what would we be working on? Well, I've got some ideas, but first, over to you.
I don't know. I'm not a historian or a scientist, so I don't know a lot about, because you know what's so good about what you do is it's all based in fact. You know, we don't just write random characters. I mean, we do sometimes, but even them are based in fact.
But even then,
so
there's you like to find the truth, especially where there's truth that you can challenge and interrogate.
Yeah.
And flip the points of view.
Yeah. So I mean, we've done pirates, we've done Mary. What's another niche
I reckon.
of
Well,
human?
I mean, as you were talking, I was thinking the Big Book of Pirates.
Yeah, actually, that's
for me,
fair. That's fair.
Is something that, and I'm talking to some folk at the moment about doing an updated version of it. So I did an album a couple of years ago associated with that called the Big Songbook of Pirates, but not all the songs from the Big Book of Pirates version 1 and 2 are on it, and it's only my voice on the album. So one thought would be to do a fully consolidated version of the two shows together, and to do the album that goes with that. The format that it's done in, whether it's done as a musical or a ballet or a cartoon, or look, if you've got a huge sum of money and you want to create something Disney-esque and lovely, this is the show. And what I liked about that show, you know, the same as this one, you know, it was about empowering women, and I think it's really important that middle-aged white men do what they can to be allies and are not threatened by it.
Yeah.
You know, so
Absolutely.
I think that.
Yeah.
I think if it's a thing that we're both working on.
Absolutely.
Absolutely that.
Yeah, no, that show has like a ridiculous amount of potential, because it really is. It's like all the kids that came to that show just adored it, because it was like you had this woman like that was like, I'm going to be a pirate, and it was so empowering for all the little girls that were like, I'm not going to like this. Instantly they were engaged. And then you had all the reality of being a pirate, like all of the.
It's not great.
It's not great. Like a lot of the songs, except when Buddy the Dragon comes in, were based in fact. They were all about real things that pirates or people on long voyages and ships.
You're saying Buddy the Dragon's not real?
Oh.
Although there is that song, You Can't Be Real.
Yeah,
But
there's that.
Turns out he is.
Turns out he is. But it's, you know, it's all based in fact. So you had the education, you had female empowerment, you had hilarious jokes about.
That was me. That was my role.
Vomiting.
I was the idiot in the show. Who knew?
Like, yeah, it ticked so many boxes.
Yeah, and the other thing with that too is that so we did one episode in the Maritime Museum in the January.
Yeah.
Second, part 2 was in July, and that was very much a show where your voice was in my head.
He worked with me once and he was stuck. He was stuck with that voice.
She won't go away. It's just like I walk out the front door and she's like there in the TARDIS. No, it's real. It's but it was that thing of like the opening song for Big Book of Pirates, which is a big argument between the two characters, was very much written knowing our voices.
Absolutely.
And so that's why I think if you listen to it live, you go, that suits those voices because it was written for it. And that's where the ballad, the Buddy the Dragon ballad, came from. Because again, that was like, oh, I hear your voice.
Yeah. And the
like
Buddy
for
the
it.
Dragon ballad was kind of the basis of My Dog Trey. Like it kind of became...
Similar style, kind
Yeah,
of.
I was like, you saw how that worked, and you were like, how can I use the information that I got from that song to then create this new ballad for Mary?
Yeah, because this is a kind of song that suits
Yeah.
Gemma Dandy's voice.